Hey guys, this is my thoughts on Captain America Civil War. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Spoilers coming. I really liked how they kept, all the humor and everything in the movie like they usually always do in all the Marvel movies. How it's, get to the point, but they have all the humor. I liked how they introduced Black Panther. I think Chadwick Boseman's gonna be an awesome Black Panther. We haven't seen or heard anything about him until this movie, and I think this is such a good way to introduce him as a character. And I think the Black Panther is going to be an awesome movie. I like how they really introduced, I should say, reintroduced Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland. He's having his own movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, and I thought it was really interesting that Tony Stark was the one that found him, and he's still in high school, probably about 17, and only had his powers for about 6 months now in this movie. And I thought it was really interesting how Tony Stark was the one that invented or created the Spider-Man suit that you see in the movie. And it's really going to be really interesting to see how they use Tony Stark in the Spider-Man and what kind of role he's going to be or how much he's going to be in that movie. And now we really wasn't sure how much Spider-Man was going to be in this movie. From the trailers that everybody saw, they had a few scenes of the movie with Spider-Man in it, and I thought that he was only going to be in like maybe 2 scenes at the most, but he was really pretty much in that whole fight scene with both teams going at the airport. And I think that airport scene, was probably one of the greatest and coolest fight scenes I've seen in a Marvel movie in a while. I thought it was really cool how Spider-Man referenced The Empire Strikes Back, I believe it was, Star Wars. That was when Ant-Man became Giant Man. He grew to like over 100 feet tall, and that was like right out of one of the comic books where Ant-Man grows to be Giant Man. And I thought that was really cool. I just ripped the wing off that airplane and used it as a weapon. And I thought it was really cool how he had shrunk that truck and had Captain America throw it and made it go back to regular size and then it ended up exploding. I thought that was kind of really neat to see that happen. And I really liked all the scenes with Black Panther when he was fighting Captain America and scratching up his shield. And I really liked the tunnel scene that was in the movie where Bucky Barnes and Captain America and Black Panther, they were running down through the tunnel, chasing each other before they get arrested. I thought that was a kind of a cool scene to see them, hopping through over all the cars and everything. And I really liked all the humor that they had in it too, all the one-liners. And I kind of at one point thought that maybe somebody might die in this movie because that's what I've kind of heard. But surprisingly, nobody died in this movie. I guess it's a good thing. I guess you really couldn't be able to kill off Avengers because you get the Avengers movie. And I thought it was kind of weird to see Vision in clothes and a sweater and over a collared shirt and pants, slacks. I thought that was kind of funny to see Vision dressed and him kind of cook in the kitchen. I just thought that was kind of funny. Another scene I kind of thought was really funny was how Stan Lee showed up because how he always has some kind of cameo somewhere in all the movies lately. And this was, toward the end of the movie, and he showed up as a FedEx driver and had a FedEx package for Tony Stark, and he said, "Hey, is this package for Tony Stank?" And he called him Tony Stank instead of Tony Stark, and that was kind of funny. And everybody in the theater laughed, and I thought it was funny how Don Cheadle, his character, War Machine, started making fun of him. And I just think that was kind of a funny scene. And I kind of really also liked how they really told the story, kind of really gave you an in-depth look of how the events of both Avengers and Captain America Civil War really play, I should say, Captain America Winter Soldier, I'm sorry, how the events of those played into this movie, and the decision why the government wants to step in to give some guidelines to the Avengers. And you can kind of really see Captain America's side of the story. And you can kind of agree with him why he wants to do what they're doing still. And you can also kind of agree with Tony Stark, Iron Man, why he wants to have some kind of guidelines to protect civilians so there's no casualties. And you can kind of understand both sides of the coin there, and kind of understand why the rest of the Avengers, would pick their sides. I kind of liked how they didn't just focus on Captain America and Iron Man. I kind of liked how they, how they kind of had all the characters, focused on them. And I was kind of shocked to see that Agent Carter, Peggy Carter, died in this movie. They don't really show her; they just show her funeral, and that's kind of interesting. And there's a really interesting part that I kind of thought was kind of a real kick, was that almost toward the end of the movie, you kind of see how when Iron Man, Bucky Barnes, and Captain America try to find the other Winter Soldiers, and they all kind of pretty much bury the hatchet. And you think they're finally realizing their mistakes, and everything that this whole Sokovia deal thing that they were supposed to be signing, and Zemo, Baron Zemo is in this. He's a scientist. He's a doctor, a therapist, I think it is, and he, had his family die or was killed in Sokovia at during the Age of Ultron, and he's trying to get the Avengers to fight each other, and he kind of ended up showing the film on the computer to Iron Man when the Winter Soldier did some kind of mission back in '91, retrieved some blood and stuff out of that car and crashed the car, and ended up being that it was Tony Stark's parents that were in the car, and he killed them. And that's kind of almost when they had to bury the hatchet, they kind of reopened the wound and made them start fighting again. And I thought it was really interesting to see how they had Bucky Barnes kill his parents but he really wasn't doing it. He was, mind control. I thought that was kind of interesting how they did that. And one thing I kind of didn't really like about the movie is that they didn't have enough of Crossbones. He was in the first part of the movie, and I thought it was really cool to see a different character, a different bad guy. But I wish he would have had more of a role than just maybe the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie. I really would have liked to see more of him, just to see another villain in the movie. I don't know how they're going to develop Zemo. I don't know how they're going to do that. And then now I just wonder how the events of this movie is going to carry over into other movies. And I don't know how it's going to carry over into Black Panther, Spider-Man, Avengers: Infinity Wars 1 and 2, and it's going to be kind of really interesting to see how it gets, played over into those movies as well. And if you haven't seen the post-credit scenes, there's going to be two of them, so make sure you see both of them. And I really thought it was kind of interesting to see how the first one that Bucky Barnes went back into being, I guess, frozen into like stasis, keep him safe so he won't, I guess, have all that stuff that Hydra did to him and hurt other people, and he's being kept in Wakanda. They're at the labs that Black Panther owns and works at, at their laboratory, because that they have a lot of money and the vibranium deposits, and they're really technical technology has really is advanced there, and it's really interesting to see all that. Well, that's my thoughts and things I liked about the movie. I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend go seeing it because it's action packed. It has a lot of good action, a lot of good scenes in it. The humor's still kind of got that one-liners and funny lines and stuff in it. If you're Spider-Man fan, you're gonna like it because Spider-Man, he's good. Black Panther's good, like you said. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And make sure you guys check out the post-credit scenes. There's two of them. One not too far after the movie ends, and one at the very end of all the credits. So make sure you check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe to my channel for more videos on my thoughts of upcoming movies and other content. Until next time, catch you later. Peace out.